3 Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? One other thing from Monday Night Raw, it would appear that we may be being set up to have a Charlotte Flair run towards the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. I know, shocking.
The push no one saw coming. Might as well put a fucking tagline on that.
My question is, with the way that Monday Night Raw and their women's division has been booked as of late, and it's not been good, like, who else besides somebody that is coming soon to Monday Night Raw? Like, I don't know that there's anybody else on that roster right now that, like, realistically has a claim, as sad as that is. Like, Charlotte has been the easy one to see, like, for months, that this is probably going to be your Mania match, whether we like it or not. Like, is there anybody else that it could even be at this point?
You could do a tournament of Japanese wrestlers.
If only there was like a big match that they hold annually, where one person can lay claim to a title and build a story out of that. I mean, WWE should look into having such, spitballing here, maybe 30 people enter this thing. And
30? Huh.
The winner...
We're definitely talking about bra and panty match, right?
Correct. The winner of the evening gown match gets to, the 30-woman evening gown match, gets to choose their opponent at WrestleMania. I mean, that would be a good way to insert someone new, so you're not just relying on Charlotte every time. But unfortunately, WWE doesn't have such a match.
I'm shocked they haven't ever thought of a match like that.
No, it's not like they were banking on Charlotte. I mean, I really feel like somebody got pregnant and probably threw a wrench into these plans. And Charlotte is your only backup option. That's the problem.
Except
that you can have a game plan going into it. The game plan shifts, and you go, well, we only got Charlotte now.
Except the person that's pregnant is like doesn't have a baby anymore. Like, that baby's gone now. That it's alive, but it's not in her.
No.
You're talking about Lacey, because I picked up on that.
Ryan's talking about Lacey.
Okay, I'm talking about Bucky Lunch.
I also was talking about Bucky Lunch until I put that together. But even still, if you were putting all your eggs in the Lacey Evans basket, you already have some.
Well, she had her own eggs, and that's what got us into this mess in the first place.
She's
a
basket full of them.
Sarah Logan.
And I enjoy Lacey Evans.
Sarah Logan.
I mean, that wasn't a build that I think he was excited for anyway.
Like, she wasn't going to win the title at Elimination Chamber, was she?
I think she was.
Yes.
Wait, seriously?
Yes.
Do you even watch the same programs
It
we
was
watched?
going to be Lacey and Charlotte at WrestleMania.
Oh, dear God.
So,
Yeah.
and that just holds down to the problem isn't even like Charlotte's still in this picture. That's the issue.
But Charlotte was in that picture because the storyline put her there. Now she's just put there because she's the only one left that can draw.
Like, I don't dislike Lacey Evans, and I'm like, why were they going to do that? Like, that's not a WrestleMania match to me. That's
they had the build going, Jim.
But also, like,
Rick was in Lacey's corner. I mean, it was
there.
I guess.
It was something.
But like, to say that like Charlotte being in the main event of or the Raw Women's title match at WrestleMania is a bad thing, that's kind of crazy.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a tired one.
Were we saying the same thing when John Cena was in every WrestleMania main event?
Actually, yes.
100%.
What about Hulk Hogan when he was in every WrestleMania main event until 9?
Any Bret Hart match.
The guys are on top because they're on top. Like, just keep them there. Charlotte will be done in 3 years anyways.
Right, but that's where you run into this problem then of you're kind of shoehorned into, well, I guess we got to put Big Match John out here again because he's the only name that can draw because he's the only name we're pushing.
Are you sure about that?
Well, that she's the only other name that's around besides Becky's gone. Like, there's Asuka and there's Becky, and then who else?
Eva Marie?
Not on the roster currently. I'm sorry.
She's getting better.
That could build with this. I mean, Alexa Bliss could have gone somewhere, right?
They turned her spooky and they make Randy Orton do Papa Shango things.
Right. But I mean, there's another person that they could have pushed. There was a storyline there when Bray and Becky, or not Becky, Alexa were on top of the world that, we had a path towards someone new at WrestleMania that they could have justifiably built for. I mean, an Alexa Bliss versus Asuka match is probably a big enough draw if you push that storyline for a few months.
It is.
3 Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?
So, and I'm not saying this is a knock on Charlotte because I like Charlotte Flair as a wrestler. It's just with any wrestler, eventually I'll get tired of them if I'm only seeing them.
Yeah, like I get it.
What if we have a successful tag team in the women's division and we break them up and then we push Peyton Royce? So
you're talking crazy here.
Now you're sounding like Peyton Royce's mom.
Ridiculous.
Which, by the way, if nobody saw, Peyton Royce's mom took to Twitter and retweeted the WWE's tweet about Charlotte. And she was like, why not give somebody else a chance?
Yeah.
I'm like,
not
it's a work.
Yeah.
I expect
if you believe that.
Well, yeah, she still believes. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I get why Charlotte's in the match. And I don't hate Charlotte Flair, but it's like, she was gone for 6 months, comes back, tag title, now in the Raw Women's title picture. Like, it's I like the bigger problem I have is that in that 6-8 month period, you did a whole lot of nothing to establish anybody else really on that roster to even be thought of in that spot.
But then again, like, who was there?
I mean, you have, whether you really believe it or not, legitimate people in Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, but you fucking burdened them with the tag team championships.
But Nia was hurt for most of that time.
She's not like most.
I understand that. I think Shayna is like on the cusp.
Yeah,
I think by next WrestleMania she'll be ready to go.
And if they don't have a spot for her in the singles realm, I have no issues with her being a part of the tag division and that she's featured and that people, and she's featured in a way that, she's different. She's also not like most, much like her tag team partner. Like, she's different than the rest of the women.
It's also not like we've seen the WWE take a women's champion and make them a women's champion of the brand.
I mean, we've seen what WWE can do with someone when they get behind them and push them. I mean, Bianca Belair is a prime example of that because they believed in her and she took off. I mean, they have the ability to do that with other people. I understand the safety net that they have with Charlotte, and sometimes it's just kind of like sure, Charlotte again, why not? But that's why we get like the Goldberg matches at times, because they don't push people enough when they have them, and then we have to rely on the retreads, which we're seeing now, unfortunately, with the women's division, where it's just like the 4 horsewomen were great. I love all 4 of them, but I mean, I'm tired of the 4 horsewomen at this point. I want new stuff too.
Yeah, like I'm glad, on the SmackDown side that we're away from that for the WrestleMania picture, and that Bayley's not in that title spot. Do you think there's a possibility that with the debut of Rhea Ripley that match becomes a triple threat?
I think there's a chance Rhea jumps Charlotte and it's Rhea and Asuka at Mania.
I would love that.
I would love that.
Yep.
And and I know sometimes people don't like a person to come in and get a title right away, but I think that we were already introduced to Rhea on the grandest stage of them all last year. That I think that you can play off of that, and it would make total sense and be fine. And I think in fact I hope that happens. And then you have your first program potentially coming out of WrestleMania with Charlotte as well. Ew, what, Charlie?
Yeah, I don't want to even acknowledge it.
A pickle pizza?
Wait, what was that?
Charlie's directing
I saw a picture of that shit.
Mark to find his wife a pickle pizza. What? Why is that a thing?
So my dog is here next to me, and she's eating her butt in defiance of that pickle pizza talk.
Pickle pizza.
Hi, puppers.
Scotty asks, why not Naomi versus Asuka? I would have no problem with that. I think Naomi's fantastic.
Absolutely.
But I think they're telling.
Back. So I mean, they didn't have enough time to build that. So that I get, but I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Naomi in that spot.
And I think they're doing the Lana Naomi tag team thing right now, like Naomi, I think maybe a little bit more in line title shot wise if you were looking towards like SummerSlam potentially. Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?